Hello, I'm David Roberts with the Heartland Renewable Energy Society. I helped on the Lawrence portion of our tour. Heartland Renewable was founded in 2000, and we've been having solar tours ever since to help promote the adoption and the skill building of using any kind of renewables, especially solar, photovoltaics, passive solar, solar hot water. We also help promote small scale wind, and today we're here at Ted and Kelly's house. They've most graciously agreed to show this house that Studio 804 helped design and construct. They're the group out of KU architect students who annually do some sort of project, and among them are a number of fine residential houses that we've had on our tours in Lawrence through the years. And I'll just turn it over to them to talk about their house, what it's like living in it, and then we'll have Charlotte here. We'll have some information on the house rating on the house, which will be the more technical side. And if Dan Rockwell with Studio 804 joins us in a little bit, we'll add him in. If not, he may be tied up and working on something else. So why don't you go ahead and...
Sure. Let's see, Kelly and I moved here in May. The house was built by Studio 804 during the last school year, and you can see it's about 2,100 square feet, I think, so a relatively small house. And it has 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, pretty standard sized house, but it's oriented a little bit differently than your normal house. The floor plan has been flipped, so the upstairs is the living space, and I think we'll be going through the house. Is that right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you guys can all see the house, and so the living room, the kitchen, the dining room, the master bedroom are all upstairs, and then the downstairs has what conventionally is an upstairs in the country here. So there are a couple of guest bedrooms, one of which we've turned into an office, as well as a hall bathroom, and in the utility room too, which I think most of you guys will be interested in the most, in terms of the engineering that went into the house and the energy saving aspects of it. We do have solar panels on the roof. There's 15 of them, but we can't really climb up there and take a look at them today. But believe us, they're there, and I do have an app we can show you later that...
and they were on the photo that we did, the promotion.
That's right. Yeah.
And if you go to Studio 804's website, they have this house featured and the plans on it as well. So you can see a drone view of the solar panels.
Right, yeah, exactly. And Studio 804 is KU's Department of Architecture 5th year master's program studio, where about 20 to 30 students every year are involved in the building of a house. So they begin the process in September. They design the house. They've found a place to build. They begin the process of clearing out the lot, leveling the lot, getting the everything ready for the house this time of year. They're also in their lab designing it, so designing it for the lot, and then by I would imagine by Thanksgiving they actually start building. So they spend the better part of the winter and the spring building the house. And this one was finished just in time for graduation last May, and they had an open house the weekend of graduation. Right. And Dan Rockhill and his students had at the open house hundreds of people who came through and took a look. So it's a pretty popular event here in town in Lawrence. People really like to come out every year and see Studio 804's newest project. And as far as we can tell, Studio 804 is pretty much on the avant-garde as far as alternative energy engineered for a domestic space is concerned. And they're always looking for new innovations and new engineering that they can bring into the house and show off. Do you have anything to add about that?
No. That covers it pretty well. if I don't know how much time we want to spend outside, but there are aspects of the design that we could point out on the outside.
Why don't you go ahead and do that? Anything with the sunshades and the grass driveway and
right. The students told us that they basically designed the house so that you rise in the morning with the sun, and you track during the course of your day in the house, you track the sun across, and you'll see that not only on the outside but obviously on the inside when you go in. Oh, hey, we've got a friend here. That's part the louvers. That's part of the passive solar aspect of the house, and so we've got this big glass curtain window there. And curtain wall window, and in the summer it's angled just at the right spot so that the sun comes in, but it's not directly on the house, and then on the inside of the house. And then in the winter, as the sun gets lower, obviously you guys all know about passive solar design, right? Then the sun will come in and it'll heat things up there in the main part of the house. And so it's centered pretty close to the main part of the living space. The other thing, Ted, I don't know if you want to talk about this, but you can see back there in the garage, Dan Rockhill put in for us. He knew we had a Tesla, so he he put in a charging station in the garage. So we've got a charging station right there, and with the solar, and we're basically charging the car for free, right? So we get a good charge on it. And we hardly ever use a charging station. The only time we ever use a charging station is, of course, when we're traveling. So is there anything else? Oh, also, we should point out the green roof, the living roof.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
So on the garage, you can't really see them very easily, but you might be able to catch, there's some plants growing on the top of the garage. So they... design the garage for a living rooftop. So sedum is the plant types. There are various varieties of sedum growing on top of the garage to help insulate.
You know how many inches of soil?
I don't know.
It's about 6 inches.
6 inches?
It's about 6 to 8 inches.
The depth of that upper rung of
You'll be able to see it from inside.
From the roof, yeah. We'll go upstairs. You can see off the back deck.
Yeah. How does it last during the summer?
It worked fine. They planted the sedum in the spring, and we didn't lose a single plant that they planted. We added to it in late August. We bought maybe 20 or 30 more sedum plants over at one of the nurseries in town and added to them. The ground settled a little bit too up there, so we had to add like an inch of potting soil on the top too. But it's working great.
Do you have to add water?
Not at all. The sedum is dry loving, so it pretty much can survive without any watering at all, other than the rain.
During the drought of the summer, we didn't water it.
No, never once.
Yeah, right.
Is the roof slanted?
It does it
Slightly?
on both the garage and in the house. The roof is slightly slanted for runoff. Yeah.
You don't make a roof truly flat.
Unless you want a swimming pool.
Right.
And you can't see it from here, but if you go around the back, you have to go down the bank. You can see there are 2 downspouts on the back side of the garage for a runoff.
And will those plants grow even higher?
Yeah. I assume that you'll eventually see them up above the top of the roof and maybe even dangling over the sides. When you go up to the Merck, the co-op here later on this morning, I think, across the street is a coffee shop, one of those drive-through coffee shops, and they have a living roof like this too. It's kind of a gabled roof. Yeah. But they have the same sedum growing on the top of that.
A lot of sedum, and then also some of the prairie grasses, I think, growing.
Yeah. Yeah, so and the other thing Kelly didn't mention about the passive solar aspect of this, the front of the house here faces to the east, and this wall here with the covered window, that's facing directly to the south, and then the back is facing to the west. So it really is a nice aspect of the house. The sun coming up in the morning. My favorite thing to do in the morning is to pull up the blinds and let the sun come in. It's really a nice feeling. And then if we're here working during the day or on the weekends, it's really nice to be sitting in the dining room and feeling the sun coming in through the south window. And then of course in the evening, same thing. So both Kelly and I work up at the University of Kansas. We're professors in the anthropology department. So we keep irregular hours and try to spend as much time here at the house as we can. Okay, let's see what else. You mentioned the driveway. It's fairly unique too. The Studio 804 students planted an annual grass last spring so that they could get something growing in time for the open house and to make everything look nice for that. And that annual grass pretty much faded away by August. So last month they came back, the new group of students for this year, and they reseeded the whole lawn and got it growing again with a perennial grass. I know you're going to ask me what kind of grass it is, and I don't really know. But
I don't remember
yeah.
the exact.
Fescue?
It might be a fescue. That's what I was going to say, and it's only been 3 weeks that it's been here. So we've had some success getting it growing this fall, and it's looking pretty good.
This concrete grid.
The grid, they come in panels or they
Yeah.
put them in panels?
They're actually little sections. They're like blocks.
About
They're permeable pavers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's about two? It's about 1.5 feet, maybe a foot.
Yeah,
by
from
like
here to here.
2.5 feet.
Yeah.
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 So
It-
small pavers.
it's made to keep a lot of stormwater from running off into the street and impacting the storm drains. And it's a technique, especially in older cities that may not have the current standards for storm drains, to keep the impact of the house down and reduce the environment and add more green.
Yeah.
And the green roof on the garage, and then behind the garage, there's a rain garden that was purposefully planted to absorb runoff as well. So
Yeah.
this house is slated for LEED Platinum. It'll be a LEED Platinum house very shortly, hopefully. And so it was built to meet the Energy Star standards, which it does. It's certified as Energy Star. Hi. And it has R40 in the walls, R60 in the roof, in the ceiling, and then the slab is completely insulated as well. The HRES index for this house before the solar came in at 24, which means, it's very low, very, very low. With the solar panels, it's a -1. So this is a more than
Net-
zero energy
net
house.
zero, yes.
Net zero
Net zero, yeah.
plus, they're feeding the grid. And the solar panels only produce like 3.4 kilowatt hours more electricity than is needed. So they figured it very closely. And so they were able to put in enough solar to take care of it because the house is so tight and so well built and so well insulated.
Yeah, it's true. We've had electric bills now, June, July, August, September. So 4 or 5 months, and we're right on the zero every month. It's
Yeah.
pretty amazing how well they
Yeah.
planned for that. The
they
only
sized
thing
it to meet the
only-
needs of the house and
yeah,
hopefully not go
right.
too far over.
Exactly, and the thing they didn't anticipate was having the electric car plugged in. So
Yes.
we plug in the car every weekend, and it runs for 3 or 4 hours, and that will push us over.
Yeah.
So usually, with the car being plugged in, we have to pay a little
Yeah,
bit
that's true. We have
to
pay.
the Evergy, but yeah, we got to add maybe 2 more panels or something like that.
Yeah. And another part of the lead aspect is the fact that it's an infill lot. They try to not take land out of
Right.
use that it's if it's farmland or something else, you try not to pull that out of use and turn it into a housing lot. So an infill lot, and then the house was designed for the lot, just as Kelly said. And there's lots of public transportation around here. There's some walkable areas that they have to take into consideration. Public spaces that allow the homeowners to go to a park or the river or something and have a nice, just enjoy their house, enjoy where they're set.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, since we moved in here, we pretty much walk. I mean, if we're late, if we really need to be at the office and we're like, man, we just need that extra 10 minutes, well, we won't walk and we'll drive. But we've been walking to the office a lot. on campus, and if we go out to dinner, we walk downtown to Mass and get dinner. You know, we walk too much to the bakeries and dinner. Yeah,
You're offsetting your calories with your walking. Okay.
that's right. That's right. We're trying.
Lawrence is great for walking, and
Yeah.
we run 3 mornings a week
Yeah.
in the neighborhood here.
Yeah, it's great.
And there is a really nice bike trail along the river, so we can, on Saturdays, jump on our bicycles and be on the bike trail
When actually
in just a matter of minutes.
It goes all the way
All the way
around,
around.
almost all the way. There's a loop almost all the way around town, and it's 22 miles. So we've just ridden down kind of the south end and turned around and come back so far. But yeah. Some Saturday we're going to have to do the whole thing and
Yeah.
Very
Get
nice
used to it.
workout.
And of
Yeah.
course,
Yeah,
another part of LEED is the indoor air quality and also Energy Star, and that's why the garage
Yeah.
is not attached to the house, detached, so you don't have all of the off-gassing of a gas car, which they don't have, but and fumes of things that are stored in the
Right.
garage and things like that. So your indoor air quality is better. And the rater told me that the mechanical ventilation that they planned for this house is a very, very good system. It was set up perfectly. It's one of the first ones he's ever tested that was set perfectly when he first tested it. They didn't have to rejig with it. So he says they did a really excellent job with the mechanical ventilation. So the air quality in there is really nice as well.
What did they use?
We'll have to go inside
Yeah,
and
let's go
look
take a look.
because I don't have the specs. But yeah, is there any other questions about the outside before we move to the inside? I'm sure you want to see it in there.
Yeah, let me just share something. This is in an older part of Lawrence, and previous to my civil engineering, I was a town planner, and most all of the lots were laid out with the long axis east-west for what I call these craftsman or bungalow style houses, which keeps your tax bills low and gets you good solar orientation, because the long axis east and west is the best orientation for your house. They did it right a long time ago, and then we threw it all away in the 50s with our new design when we flipped the house to be parallel to the long axis, parallel to whatever way the street was going, which is the totally wrong direction for energy efficiency in that. So this is, was reinforcing those older habits that they had, whether or not they were conscious of them. They did it right a long time ago, and we just tossed it out, and so now we're rediscovering that and doing it.
And related to exactly a good example, David, right, is look at this, late 19th century house that's right next door, oriented at least so that the length of it is picking up
Getting
the
that
solar,
sun.
east-west.
And that's the way Lawrence is laid out. The lots are pretty much all oriented this way, so that they're wide from east to west, narrow from north to south. If you drive or walk around town today, you'll see that even the blocks are laid out this way, so that they're long north-south. So there are lots of houses all in a row, but they're narrow east to west. So there's one row of houses here, and then usually an alley down the middle, and then another row of houses on the other side. So they're not square blocks. They're kind of linear blocks in that respect too. And that's interesting. I didn't realize that historically they understood that concept.
Oh, I've done land use for 24 Kansas towns, and all of the plats were done that way in the late 1870s, 1880s, when most of the original plats for these towns were laid out.
Yeah.
They did it right,
Yep.
and then we just tossed it all out,
Mid-century, yeah.
Now we're relearning it.
and we're relearning it. So
Let's head on in.
As you're coming in, the siding is made of sassafras, so it's a green wood too. It grows really fast and is reproducible in the eastern forests of North America here. So watch your steps. Sorry for the acorns. I swear on Saturday last weekend I picked them all up in the yard, and they just kept falling all week.
From us, yeah. Should we put up another?
Yeah, if you like, yeah.
Another thing we should have pointed this out too is the siding that you see on the top is actually It's very, I think, high-rated, you know, sustainable, low-tech kind of, or I guess it's high-tech siding that we shouldn't have to paint for the life of the siding, supposedly. So we'll see how that goes, but that's the theory behind that.
And what's it called again?
Thunder Max.
So it's a German
It's-
engineered
Yeah,
siding,
it's a German engineered siding. Yeah.
but made here in North America.
Yeah, I think it's made in a plant here in New Zealand.
Is it off the wall a little bit?
Yes,
Yes.
there's a gap behind there.
That's for water management,
Right,
bulk water management. So it's got a drainage plane behind it, so that any rain or snow or it doesn't get into the wall cavity.
Right.
And the same with this too. The sassafras has a little gap behind it. The other ones. So welcome guys. This is the downstairs, so you can see it's set up a little bit differently. There's a little bit of an entryway here, and then a bunch of storage cabinets all around here that we filled with just about anything that you would normally, have in a house.
Which is a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff, and we moved from Texas, and in Texas they do everything big. So our house there was we had about 3,000 square feet, so we had a lot of downsizing to get ourselves in here, and we've been able to do it. I'm afraid to open these because things might start falling out if we do, but feel free, you can take a look inside. These are from IKEA, I think.
Well,
right? The insides are from IKEA.
They're from IKEA.
Oh, okay.
So you can see strange things. But the insides are from IKEA, and the students actually manufactured the covers, and they're
They built the cabinets.
Yeah, they're maple.
And the downstairs, they polished the concrete, so it's just raw concrete that's been sanded down quite good.
It looks like it's been stained or treated.
Maybe a little bit of staining or polish or something.
Yeah.
And then in here's the utility room, and we can maybe almost everyone can fit in here, but it's going to be tight.
Oh, that's
And this has all of the utilities. And Charlotte, maybe you could tell us about this. Charlotte can tell us about this.
Okay. Sorry, I'm gonna grab your microphone.
So we've got the air filtration system here
Yeah,
that
I
you
see it over
mentioned.
here.
The solar transformer here, and then the
Heat pump water
geospring
heater,
heat
yeah.
pump water heaters here, right?
Yep.
Those are the three main things.
Okay.
So your water heater cools this room.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
this
it-
room stays cold all summer.
Yeah,
It's like
so
65 degrees in here.
This is the heat pump water heater, yeah, and it will pull the heat from the air to heat the water, so it keeps the basement area cool and dry. Yeah. And then
winter, right?
Yeah.
we've got the end phase panel here. This is for the solar panels. This is the controller for that.
You have single inverter?
And the
Yes. Just one.
the mechanical ventilation is over here behind the door. It is. Somebody asked about that.
Sloan, I think, right?
It's a Brown.
Brown, okay.
It's a Brown.
Okay.
I'm looking to see if it's an ERV or an HRV. I think it must be an ERV because I don't see a drain tube coming out. So it's going to help with the humidity transfer in the summer and the winter, as well as the heat transfer, bringing in the fresh air and exhausting the stale air.
It runs all the time. Charlotte, we have it on all the time. I don't know if we should or not.
Well, Jim said they set it perfectly, so if it still has it was set, then they usually make them to run 24/7.
They are continuous.
To continually bring in fresh air and exhaust stale air. So, yep,
The noise you hear is mostly coming from the hot water heater.
from the water heater. Yeah,
And it has several different settings. There's a heat pump mode, which is the most energy efficient as far as I can tell, and then a hybrid mode, and then what a normal hot water heater would have. And we've experimented with all three, and we've just left it on hybrid anymore because we haven't really noticed a difference in the. Sorry, we haven't really noticed a difference in the energy that's being used if it's on heat pump or hybrid.
yeah. The hybrid mode will use the heat pump as long as it can, and then if it's kind of falling behind because you have a lot of guests and you're taking a lot of showers and running the dishwasher, whatever, then it'll kick in the electric backup.
All right.
So if it's just the two of you,
Yeah,
you
that
probably
might be why
doesn't.
we
It probably
haven't
doesn't
seen
ever
any
kick in the
difference.
electric
That's
backup.
good to know.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay, so the ERV we've got on the side here, it's a little readout that's showing us the air that's coming in and the air that's going out, and it is perfectly balanced, just as Jim said. It's bringing in about 55 to 57 cubic feet per minute of air constantly 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, which is about the size of a bath fan, but this is bringing in the fresh and exhausting the stale, so it is not using much energy and helping make sure the indoor air quality is really good. And then up above here, we've got the air handler portion, the inside part of the heat pump. They have a ducted heat pump here that ducts air through the house, through this part of it anyway. And so you can see it going that way too. And then they have some mini splits that we'll see upstairs. So there's a combination of ways that they're heating and cooling the house.
Do they use mastic to seal that?
Yes, this is mastic. This
as
is,
opposed to duct tape,
yeah, this is wet applied mastic, and it stays very, very flexible. You can see they do have some duct tape too, and then they masticed over the duct tape, which is a good idea. But it stays flexible and soft, so as it gets the heat and the cool goes through it, it can expand and contract, and it doesn't crack and start causing leaks in the system.
All right, there are 2 bedrooms downstairs. One we're using as a guest room, the other one's an office for work. And they're heated and cooled by mini split systems within each room. So we've not had to turn those on all summer. The downstairs here has stayed so cool, I guess because of the stuff running in the utility room, that we haven't had to use them at all. I presume in the winter we'll have to turn them on for heat. We haven't yet.
You see it up there on the wall.
Yeah, my cousin had a worker in Sister Bay, Wisconsin. In Board County. They offered Okay.
All right, I think that's it for down here. All right. You all want to go upstairs? So it's a paper product, right?
If you could repeat the questions. Well, first
I thought of that, and then I forgot.
When people ask that.
If I'm remembering it right.
Yeah.
If I'm remembering the name right, it's called Real Light, but it's a pressed paper, recycled paper product. And so it's been like hyper pressed, so that it's pretty solid, and it's very durable. At first, I was a little worried that it wasn't going to hold up to
Me?
normal kitchen use, but it is. It's really durable, and you can put an oil on it to kind of smooth it out and shine it up. What's it good to use?
Is it
Paper.
infused with epoxy?
Epoxy, I think, of some sort.
Epoxy of some sort, but it's just mostly they press it, and it's just the solid pressed, infused with epoxy.
So what can we tell you about here? I mean, it's a beautiful space. We really enjoy hanging out here, that's for sure. The cabinetry is all maple, just like downstairs.
Yeah, and just like downstairs,
Yep.
the students, they put in an IKEA
Yeah,
what
feel
is it?
free.
Carcass, I guess is what they actually call them, the interior of the, and then the outside was manufactured by the students out of maple.
Yeah, the upper row are just dummies. There's no storage space up there, just the 2 that you see.
handles,
And then, of course, the cabinets underneath the counter, too. As far as the appliance go, these are all GE appliances. They're
GE
Energy
Cafe.
Star Cafe, right? And this is an induction electric cooktop. And it works pretty well. So we're happy with that. And what else can we say about those?
They're all smart, you guys probably are familiar
that's
with
true.
this, maybe some of you are. Everything runs off of an app these days, so I'm when I have my my phone near me or my watch, Apple Watch on. It's, you know, Ted's home putting something in the oven for dinner before I get home. I get a little notification on my watch. The oven's on. Yeah, I'm like, okay. So, you know, everything in the house is pretty smart. The lights, the shades, every one of these curtain walls has a shade set up, and there's an app for the shade, so everything's can be turned on and off with the phone. Or, hey Siri, turn on the music.
Oh no, don't do that.
I have a question.
Yeah.
These shoji screen doors, were they already designed with the house, or was that your choice?
Yeah, they did that. Hey Siri, turn off the music. Yeah, we'll show you how those work. Let me.
Yeah,
they're kind of a neat
They're like barn
stylistic thing. Yeah. These are the same material that the countertops are made on. I got one, Kelly. And they slide shut. So the master bedroom is on the other side here,
Yeah,
and there's one here that'll shut, and then on the other side of the corridor there's yet another one of these. So you can shut them both, and it's kind of like being in the harem in Istanbul or over at the tea room in Tokyo or something of that sort. So they're a neat design thing, and they weigh like 200 pounds or 300 pounds. They're very heavy.
What's this material?
Yeah, it's the same material as the countertop. It's called Real Light.
Real light? It's all one word?
Yeah, I think so. And it's a paper-based product that is recycled. So let's see. Any other questions about this space?
Not real.
What?
It's rich.
Oh yeah, Rich Light.
Rich
Yeah.
light.
Okay,
All
sorry,
spelled
Rich
together?
Light. Yeah, RICH, Rich Light. Yeah.
If you look out that window there, you'll see
Oh.
the green roof on the garage.
Yeah, feel free to go outside if you like. The door's right there. Mhm. Yeah, go on out. That's fine.
Okay.
So you can see the sedum growing on the roof there.
Do you have the birds bother it?
There was a blue jay hanging out on there yesterday, but that was the first time we'd seen a bird.
So my daughter has a green roof, but she has birds that come and just pluck out and you'll see little bits of the sedum laying all over
Oh,
the
no
place.
kidding. We haven't had that happen yet. No, huh? Yeah.
Right,
That's a-
There are a lot of acorns up there.
So guys, there's just one more feature about the backyard. When Studio 804 was building the house, they planned a monarch way station here, so a butterfly bed of, sorry Kelly, what kind of plants are these?
Butterfly light?
They're milkweed.
Milkweed, yeah, right. And you can
But
see there's still some there. I would say maybe 50% survived the summer.
Right.
So we have to regenerate that. They're seeding right
They
now,
will
so
regenerate
they'll
themselves.
regenerate themselves. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
And they did a fairly good
Yeah,
job.
they're
I mean, there
perennial.
were a lot.
Yeah,
we
they
had several
reseed.
butterflies come through.
Yeah.
And there's some other native plants in there as well, not just the milkweed. There are a few that are still there, like Coreopsis and some other, sunflower kinds of plants, but
But we
How
have
do you
some
get
work
up
to do.
to your roof to maintain that?
a ladder.
You have a ladder?
Yeah.
You don't jump?
On the wood strips.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's what I've done is just keep my feet on the wood strips and keep it cleaned off.
It wouldn't be too far from this side.
No.
They say, squirrels get up there and they'll bury those acorns and you'll have an oak tree growing on your roof.
There were some ook trees growing there.
Were there?
Those well, maybe they weren't oak trees, but whatever.
Cottonwoods.
The cottonwood things come down and
You have to pull those out, yeah.
yeah. So in August, I think I got up there and pulled those out.
So that's going to be an annual thing.
Yeah, it's just
Twice
twice a year. I
and
got to
take
do
out the
something up
trees.
there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
What's the environment?
Yeah,
that's a burrow.
Of the light?
It reduces stormwater runoff.
Oh, okay, okay. Just
Many
keep
of these
that down.
neighborhoods they didn't design for a lot of storm drains in the older parts of towns.
Yeah.
By doing these water conserving features, they keep the impact of this newer house, which is a little bit more bigger footprint than previous, with the grass driveways and
Sure.
the green roof. They keep the stormwater neutral or less,
Yeah.
and that helps preserve the older neighborhoods and keeps down new flooding for our more intense rains that we seem to be having from time to
Yes,
time.
right.
Amongst the drought, you know.
Uh-huh, right.
Yeah.
So this is the access point to the roof too, to the solar panels. Studio 804 put this ladder catch up there, so I can just prop the ladder right up against there, and it keeps it pretty stable, and I don't need to worry about
that's a good
it
idea.
sliding left or right, which is really a
simple
nice
idea
thing.
for
Yeah,
every
yeah,
house, you
right,
know.
exactly. Yeah,
Why don't we move to the other?
yeah. You guys want to
space?
take a look at the bedroom real quick in the front?
Is there, what, the stadium's just what? 10
Oh yeah,
blocks
it's
away?
less than that. It's like 6 blocks away.
6 blocks.
So,
Okay.
we could hear the announcer and last Saturday when they were playing TCU and stuff.
It's gotten exciting all of a sudden.
Yeah, yeah. All of a sudden, yeah. Oh yeah, that's Peeps.
He did get it.
Hey, come on in, guys. So, let's see. We were talking about the air circulation system downstairs that Charlotte was showing us, and here's one of the vents up here. So, so that draws the air into the system. It goes through the filter downstairs, and then it comes out purified or cleaned here in these floor vents. So there's this constant cycling of air through this room. You've got the same thing over in the great room as well as in the bathroom and the bathroom downstairs too. So those are where those vents are that cycle the air through for sure.
There's a filter there?
Yeah.
What's the maintenance on the filter?
About maybe every 6 weeks I gotta pull it out and put a new one in or something like that.
There's a
Vacuum it or something.
on the EAV you're talking about.
Yeah, on the
Yeah, there's a simple filter that you clean out and you just wash and
that's right. There is
and
that
dry
too.
it
Yeah.
and do it, and then the big filter you have to maybe do once a year or whatever the
Yeah.
instructions are
Yeah.
for it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. So there is the built-in one too that you have to keep using, wash. Yeah, but it's pretty simple.
And there are your shades on the way up.
Yeah, they shut pretty easily. Everything's got a remote or an app. So
Or Siri, right?
so they come down, and all 3 of the big windows have these.
Oh, wow.
So they'll close it up
Quiet.
all the way down. Uh-huh.
So that gets you your privacy.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Right. So anyway, let's stop that.
Otherwise it's like a fish room.
Yeah, right, exactly. Everybody looks at the house when they drive by. And the bathroom around the corner here is pretty nice too. It's got a skylight that opens, so we can have natural ventilation in there too. So feel free to take a look in there too. All the hardware in the bathrooms are, I think, German, Duravit. Is that right? Is it German?
Duravit.
Yeah. Uh-huh. So what else?
So access to the roof is from the outside.
Yeah, from the outside, right?
Yes, right.
Yeah.
These doors,
Yeah, so these shut too.
more cooler than a barn door. But
Yeah,
it's
they
kinda
are.
like
Yeah.
that. It's
Yeah, it is.
So they could buy Duravit
Uh-huh.
here.
And when they're both shut, it's hard to see all the way through. You can see, but it's kind of a abstract kind of a look. Yeah. Yeah.
So you can really close
Yeah.
out this whole center.
Yeah. Let me shut it for you. I'll shut them both, and you can see how it looks.
It's huge in the, right?
Oh, wow, you're right.
Yeah. So it's kind of hard to see through,
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Uh-huh.
And still you get the air
Yes, exactly, right.
And you can trap a cat between there.
Yes, we've done that before and played with her. The other one, there's 2 of them that kind of look alike.
If I could have everyone's attention,
Hey guys,
The one
David-
outside is not yours?
No,
But
he lives
she
across the
looks
street.
I hope you have many years of great living in it. And thank you for sharing your experiences and the features of the house. And so I'll just let anyone ask any last minute questions, but if we can sort of make our way over to the other, was hoping for as close to 11 as we can. And I think it's less than 5 minutes driving.
Yeah, it's real quick.
So,
Any favorite things? I don't know if you covered any favorite things, any highlights?
You just love it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are several things, I don't know.
For me, it's the lighting, I think.
Yeah,
like
the
right
lighting.
now,
Sure.
just the way it
Yeah.
feels. It's like this all day
Yeah.
in the different places around the house.
Yeah.
I just love the space.
My glass.
Yeah.
What color are your shades when you let the shades on?
They're
Gray?
white.
White?
Yeah, the same color as the